you say can undermine our own mental and physical wellness. I was struck in your book that you traveled to Japan, South Korea, Singapore, Italy, Spain for your research. What do those societies get right about aging that we get wrong?
Quite a bit. And let's understand first the gaps between ourselves in those countries. Japan, which is the longest lived country on earth, life expectancy there is 7 or 8 years longer than U.S. Healthy life expectancy, which is the years we can expect to live in good health, almost a decade longer. Women in Japan, the median life expectancy in Japan is 90.
Wow.
Just a huge difference between how long and how well we live between us and all of our peer countries, not just Japan, but all the economically advanced countries of the world. And there's a lot of root causes. There's no one single cause, but part of that is a much more positive view of aging and the role of older people in society, and the desire to integrate older people as productive members of society, keeping them socially connected, keeping them purposeful, contributing to society. They don't think of that as we kind of do as sort of a decline narrative. It's a time in all those places where people are considered an integral part of society, and that has lots of different consequences for the effectiveness of society, but also for our own health and healthy aging.
Well, you wrote in your essay in the New York Times, which was titled, "I'm 62, Stop Telling Me I'm Old." And I was struck, can we ever get rid of this very deeply ingrained idea in American society that 65, the official retirement age, Social Security, et cetera, is old? And how would it benefit our society if we did move on from that narrow view?
So, of course we can, and of course we must. I mean, I point out some of the successes of other countries, but many of those are successes of very recent vintage, right? Japan, where people continue to work because they've created essentially a successful work environment for people past 65. That didn't exist 20 years ago. Many of the rules that we think of the right way to live our life are inventions of the 20th century. We invented teenage years in the 20th century. They didn't exist before then, or the idea of teenage years. So many of these things are a reconstruction, and we can rethink that. And partially, this starts with sort of a cultural shift. That largely starts with positive role models. So you talked about George Bush jumping out of airplanes, into his 90s. I know you had Mel Brooks on the show,
right?
Who's committed to a new movie at the age of 99 to be delivered at 101. I don't expect I'll be doing things like that, but those are role models that can help all of us sort of rethink what the rules of our longer lives should be. And that's really the challenge of longevity, to really understand life expectancy has kind of doubled over the last 120 years in the U.S. What we haven't done is sort of reinvented life to reflect longer life and the opportunity for better health for everyone.
All right, leave us with just a couple of concrete tips that we can keep in mind to help control how we age and to age better.
There's so many. Do you have a couple hours? Probably not. I think let's start with the notion of discarding the notion of that the years past 60 or 65 are years of either permanent holiday or inevitable decline. I mean, they will eventually decline, but the longer you have a positive attitude and the idea that of contribution and social connection, the healthier you'll be into that second half of life. And the second thing is, I think, and I wrote in my book about meeting people in the U.S. Who don't really know what to do with those years. We're not really taught to plan and think for those years as important as the years before. I think we need, in a super age society, which we will eventually be, we need people in their 60s and 70s and 80s, not only for their own benefit, for the benefit of society, to step up and think of those as years of contribution and purpose. Those are the things I think we should start to, as both as a community and individuals, as we plan for a healthier future.
That's Ken Stern, author of Healthy to 100, How Strong Social Ties Lead to Long Lives, and founder of the Longevity Project. Ken, thank you.
Thanks for having me on the show.
And with global life expectancy rising, longevity and healthy aging is something we're paying special attention to on this show. Not long ago, we learned about a new study that examines the stages of our brains from birth to old age. And those findings might surprise you. You can listen to that interview and share it with others at hereandnow.org.
Hey, this is Steve Inskeep. One of the things you can count on from NPR and this station, we've got your back. When it comes to reporting the news, bringing you facts you can count on. And one thing this station counts on is contributions to keep it going. You can help by donating a vehicle you no longer need, which is free to you, easy to do, and could mean hundreds of dollars worth of support. Thanks.
Go to radioiq.org and click the support tab and select vehicle donation.
The Supreme Court is seen as the last stop when it comes to either changing America or protecting it. SCOTUS blog's Sarah Isger says that's wrong.
Basically, every narrative we have about the Supreme Court is wrong. This idea that it's a 6-3 partisan court, the idea that the court is, the one that's left to decide all of our most important issues.
That's on the next On Point.
Tune in for On Point, beginning at 8 on Radio IQ.
Funding for Here and Now comes from the listeners of WBUR Boston and your NPR station, and from MathWorks, creator of MATLAB and Simulink, to design and develop engineered systems, accelerating the pace of discovery in engineering and science. Learn more at mathworks.com. And Landmark College in Putney, Vermont, offering summer programs for high schoolers that focus on building executive function and transition to college skills. Landmark.edu/summer.
It's Here and Now. In Corpus Christi, Texas, a growing water shortage is raising concerns about whether that city is prepared for what's happening ahead. About 500,000 people could soon face critical limits on their water supply. Lucio Vasquez of the Texas Newsroom has that story.
Ashley Ortiz spends her days surrounded by water. At the laundromat where she works in Corpus Christi, machines hum and churn from morning to night. But at home, she says she has to be more careful about how water is used.
It's hard to learn how to conserve and not use if you don't want it, or remind your kids, don't let the water run.
For Ortiz and her 3 boys, cutting back on water has been a daily adjustment. And across the Corpus Christi region, just off the Gulf of Mexico, it's becoming a shared reality for more than 500,000 people.
It's just something that you never think you would have a problem with. Like one day we might be out of water.
Corpus Christi's water supply is shrinking after years of drought made worse by climate change. 2 of the reservoirs the region relies on for water, Lake Corpus Christi and Choke Canyon, have dried up. They're now at less than 9% capacity.
So what we're seeing is those 2 reservoirs are at a historic, never seen before, low.
Peter Zanoni is the city manager of Corpus Christi. He says the city has already been restricting watering lawns and limits on washing cars at home for more than a year. Dead grass can be seen everywhere. A local water park has been closed. And it's likely going to get worse. Zanoni says the city is expecting to declare a water emergency by the end of the summer.
6 months from that point, supply would not be enough for demand. It's not that we would be out of water. It's that there would be a gap in supply to demand.
At that point, the city will be forced to have everyone cut water use. A proposed plan calls for a 25% reduction. So why is this happening? It's a combination of several things. Less rain, more heat, and heavy demand from the local oil refining industry, combined with years of delayed planning. Corpus Christi relies heavily on rainfall to refill its reservoirs, but in recent years, that rain hasn't come, part of a prolonged drought across South Texas. John Nielsen Gammon is the Texas state climatologist.
Anytime you're in that sort of situation, the weather could shoot blanks for long enough and eventually you can run out of water.
He says climate change has led to higher temperatures.
It increases evaporation losses from lakes and decreases soil moisture.
The city relies heavily on just a couple of reservoirs, so when those run low, the whole system is under stress. That impact is hard to miss. I'm standing in Lake Corpus Christi. Water's pulled back so far you can now walk into areas that were once completely underwater. There was probably 5-10 feet of water directly above my head. But now the ground beneath my feet is very dry. It's starved for any kind of hydration. It's a shell of what it once was. Dorina Mergoulet is the director of the Center of Water Supply Studies at Texas A&M University in Corpus Christi.
Relying on just surface reservoirs in an area like ours, it's not feasible for long-term sustainability.
Mergoulet says what's happening here is a warning about the limits of the region's water system.
There has to be contingency plans and looking at different sources of water.
The region has also grown over the last 2 decades. The population has increased by about 13%. More people means more water is needed. Corpus Christi is also a national hub for oil refining and exports, industries that use more than half of the region's water supply. City Manager Peter Zanoni says if dry conditions continue, the economic fallout could be massive.
And so you're talking about job loss, you're talking about a real potential for economic downturn in this region, not just Corpus Christi, but the 2 to 3 to 7 county region.
City leaders say they're trying to avoid that worst case scenario. They've been increasing water imports from outside sources and quickly drilling groundwater wells under emergency permits granted by Texas Governor Greg Abbott. But city officials say these efforts have produced less water than hoped. The city is also exploring long-term solutions like desalination and water recycling, but those projects could take years to complete. Some of those same ideas were on the table years ago, but Zanoni says they were never moved forward.
You've heard about it in local government, the adage of kicking the can down the road.
Other fast-growing cities in the South, like Phoenix and Las Vegas, face similar issues: prolonged drought, rapid growth, and dwindling water supply. As Corpus braces for deeper cutbacks, the strain is adding to a growing sense of unease for residents like Ashley Ortiz. Back at the laundromat where she works, the machines are still running, undeterred by the looming shortage. But she's concerned for her children's future.
As a mother, it's like I don't want my kids to have to worry about something that we shouldn't have to worry about.
Ortiz says she loves living here, but the worsening water shortage may push her to move out. For NPR News, I'm Lucio Vasquez.
And today on our podcast, Here Now Anytime, we're covering the Supreme Court's temporary order to restore mail-order access to the abortion pill mifepristone for just 1 week.
And with Spirit Airlines now shut down, that's not welcome news for some budget-minded flyers.
Maybe they were commuting and worked in a city and lived in another, and they just wanted the cheapest thing possible. They brought the essentials, and 2 hours they were where they needed to go, and they don't have that option right now.
Here and Now Anytime delivers the latest news to your podcast app automatically every afternoon. You can find it wherever you listen. Here and Now is a production of NPR and WBUR. I'm Indira Lakshmanan.
I'm Robin Young. This is Here and Now.
Funding for Here and Now comes from the listeners of WBUR Boston and your NPR station, and from Road Scholar, a nonprofit educational travel provider for adults offering programs in more than 100 countries and online. Learn more at roadscholar.org/learning.
It resonates with you, a story on Radio IQ that changed your perspective, a conversation that helped you understand the world better. And yes, the organizations that made it all possible. Corporate support isn't about shouting louder. It's about being present in the moments that matter to you. If your organization wants to make its mark where it counts, email us at corporatesupport@vt.edu.
Support for Radio IQ is provided by the Roanoke Cultural Endowment, committed to building a sustainable source of funding for arts and cultural organizations in Roanoke. Invest in the arts, invest in the future. RoanokeCulturalEndowment.org.
You're listening to Radio IQ on WVTF Roanoke, WRIQ Charles City Richmond, WVTU Charlottesville, WVTW Charlottesville, WVTR Marion, WISE FM Wise, WQIQ Spotsylvania, WIUR Lexington, WEHC Emory, HD3 of WURV Richmond, and on 92.5 Richmond and 94.9 Fredericksburg. Radio IQ, a listener-supported community service of Virginia Tech, on your smart speaker and online at radioiq.org.
Fresh Air with Terry Gross is underwritten by the Daily.
Good afternoon and welcome to the 2 o'clock p.m. session of Roanoke City Council on May the 4th. And I will ask our clerk, Ms. McCoy, to please call the roll.
Ms. Sanchez-Jones. Here. Vice Mayor McGuire.
Here.
Mr. Nash.
Here.
Mr. Volleson.
Here.
Ms. Powers.
Here.
Mr. Hagan.
Here.
Mayor Cobb.
Here, and we are all present. Thank you. I'm delighted to welcome the Reverend Terry Kemp, Children's Pastor and Ministries Director at Fort Chiswell Church of God, and also a city employee with the engineering department. He wears a couple hats, and we're grateful for Reverend Kemp, who's going to deliver our invocation, and then I'll lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Would you please stand?
Let us pray. Almighty God, we thank you for this beautiful spring day and the many blessings you bestow upon each of us. We thank you for the privilege to serve this great city and the opportunity to use our abilities you give each of us for the betterment of this community. We ask your blessing on each member of this council and all of our city leaders in their responsibilities to represent all citizens of this city in a professional and impartial manner. We pray for wisdom in our endeavors to put forth our best effort for the benefit of this city and for your glory. Let us acknowledge the value of each viewpoint expressed here today in our efforts to partner collectively to achieve successful resolutions. We pray for your divine inspiration for decisions made in this chamber, not only today, but in the days to come, to provide the best leadership possible for our citizens. Almighty God, inspire us to even greater achievements as the city of Roanoke continues to be a leading example of civic progress and partnership. Inspire each of us to approach our daily responsibilities with integrity and a desire for excellence. We also pray that our nation not to be continually divided, but let us unite in our pursuit of excellence and accomplishment. In your name we pray, amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'm going to ask Councilwoman Powers if she will certify our closed meeting.
I move with respect to any closed meeting just concluded that each member of City Council in attendance certify to the best of his or her knowledge that 1, only public business matters lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements under the Virginia Freedom of Information Act, and 2, only such public business matters as were identified in any motion by which any closed meeting was convened or was heard, discussed, or considered by the members of council in attendance.
Thank you. Do I have a second? Second. Thank you, Councilmember Volleson. All right, Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Sanchez-Jones. Here. Vice Mayor McGuire. Here. Mr. Nash.
Here. Wait, aye.
Gonna try that again? Yeah. Mr. Volleson.
Aye.
Ms. Powers.
Aye.
Mr. Hagan.
Aye.
And Mayor Cobb.
Aye. Thank you. And the motion is adopted. The Council of the City of Roanoke is seeking applications for various vacancies on council-appointed authorities, boards, commissions, and committees. And to access the online application, you can visit roanokeva.gov to complete that application. We'll move now to our presentations and acknowledgments. We're going to begin with our council shout-outs, which is an opportunity for council members to highlight things that we've been able to be a part of throughout the life of the city in between our meetings. And so I'm going to start down here with Councilman Powers today.
Thank you very much. So my shout out is to all of our public service workers. I want to thank you for everything that you do for our city. Really, that really goes to all of our city employees, how important you are. I see you everywhere in our city. I also want to do a special thank you to our transportation staff, because I do go out to the library at Patrick Henry, and so I love all the traffic calming that they're doing out there. I think it is wonderful. It gives our students a safe feeling when they walk home. So thank you for all of that you do.
All right.
Mr. Volleson.
My first shout out is a kind of regionalism shout out. Last week I was able to participate in the ribbon cutting for the Glade Creek Greenway. It was great to see the city, the county, Salem, Vinton, and everybody, and how we all work together on the Greenway system here in the Valley. So that was awesome. I also got to roll up my sleeves and cook on Saturday for the Delta Sigma Theta sorority chef cook-off. There were a couple of other chefs that were there too. One beat me and one didn't. So I ended up in second place, and they'll let you know where they were, but it was a great event. And I actually wanted to also give a shout out to my dad, Jimmy Vollison. It is his birthday today. He'll be 76.
Councilman Nash. That sounded either like a setup for you or something else.
I also participated in the cook-off. I came in third. I made mac and cheese, but yes, I came in third. But that was very fun. First time cooking for anyone who's not in my immediate family to try my food. So a little nerve-wracking, but obviously the people liked it, so that's good. But my only other shout-out is to my niece, Josiah. Her birthday's today as well. So happy birthday, and I love you, and very proud of you and everything you're doing.
Thank you. That's nice. Vice Mayor?
Thank you, Mayor. I'll give a shout out to everyone that's been preparing for the upcoming Daisy Art Parade, and put that on your radar. There are groups all over the city creating some really cool art installations that they're going to carry down the route. So my neighborhood, and I know a lot of others, are getting geared up for that. So that is coming up this Saturday. And then I also wanted, for my second shout out, to say thanks to the Roanoke Parks Foundation. We have recently in here been a part of the renaming of some of the trails that they helped us build on Mill Mountain, and I think in total raised about $500,000 for the city, which is just really remarkable. And I just want to thank them for all of their work, and I look forward to working with them again soon, and sorry that they couldn't be here today.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Councilwoman Sanchez-Jones.
Yes. My shout out goes to Mr. Ray and the automotive program at Daytech for winning the Automotive School of the Year by Tomorrow's Technician magazine, a national award sponsored by Wix Filters and O'Reilly Auto Parts. And they also got a check for $10,000. So kudos to Mr. Ray and the Daytech folks.
Thank you, Councilman Hagan.
Shout out to the community school with the Strawberry Festival that they had this weekend. That was always a great event. Also to Compost Fest, which I was at and managed to be dunked in the dunk tank. So that was fun. Yeah.
You had really good form.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Mayor.
Dunk tanks are not easy.
Mayor tried one, so. No.
So I want to give a shout out to the Mid-Atlantic Goodwill Industries Conference, which was held in Roanoke this last week. This is Goodwills from across the Mid-Atlantic region. It was held at Melrose Plaza. It was a beautiful meal and celebration of Goodwill's work, but we were able to highlight the partnership between the city and Goodwill in creating Melrose Plaza. And if you've not had an opportunity to visit Melrose Plaza, there's so much there. The Market on Melrose, which is a great grocery store. Henrietta's Cafe, which has comfort food every day of the week. The Excel Center, which is the first adult high school in Virginia, and they're already graduating people. And to see adults thrilled about getting their high school diploma is pretty remarkable. The Harrison Museum of African American Culture has a great new space there. Wellness at Melrose features clinicians from Carillion, Tree Planted Counseling. There's community space there, and of course the Melrose Library. So there's a lot to celebrate there, and I encourage you all to check that out. And then secondly, it was my honor to be present for the annual celebration of foster parents in the city of Roanoke. This was an opportunity for people who provide respite, short-term, long-term foster parenting to children and youth, and to hear and see the family stories is always touching to me as someone who was adopted as an infant. So kudos to them, and thanks to you all. And surprisingly, I won the chef's cook-off. I was shocked because I brought a salad. Since when does a salad win a cook-off? But I will tell you, the mac and cheese and the eggplant parmesan were amazing, as were all of the recipes there. So anyway, congratulations to everybody who participated in that. Now we've got a whole bunch of proclamations today to celebrate a lot of amazing people and organizations. So first of all, I'm going to invite Councilwoman Sanchez-Jones to go down to the podium. And I'm going to invite Mr. Mark Carey and Samantha Dawn and others from the ALS Association to meet Councilwoman Sanchez-Jones for the presentation of this proclamation.
Amyotrophic lateral sclerosis Awareness Month. Whereas amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, also commonly known as Lou Gehrig's disease, is a progressive, fatal neurodegenerative disease in which a person's brain loses connection with their muscles, slowly reducing a person's ability to walk, talk, and eventually breathe. Whereas thousands of amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, ALS, cases are reported each year, and estimates show how every 90 minutes someone is diagnosed with ALS and someone passes away from ALS. Whereas an average patient diagnosed with ALS survives only 2 to 5 years from the time of diagnosis. Whereas the exact causes of ALS are unknown and there is no known cure for ALS. Whereas people who have served in the military are more likely to develop ALS and die from the disease than those with no history of military service. Whereas securing access to new therapies, durable medical equipment, and communication technologies is of vital importance to people living with ALS. Whereas clinical trials play a pivotal role in evaluating new treatments, enhancing quality of life, and fostering assistive technologies for those living with ALS. Whereas the ALS Association is the largest philanthropic funder of ALS research globally and has committed more than $154 million to support more than 550 projects across the United States and 18 other countries. Whereas the ALS Association is committed to make ALS livable and cure it for everyone, everywhere. And now, therefore, I, Councilmember Vivian Sanchez-Jones, on behalf of Joseph L. Cobb, Mayor of the City of Roanoke, Virginia, I will call upon all Americans to join me in supporting ALS research, advocating for increased funding, and standing in solidarity with those affected and by the relentless disease. Do hereby proclaim the month of May 2026 throughout this great 8-time American city as ALS Month. So, thank you.
Oh, we'll get a picture up here too. Mitch, you can get it from that angle. Yeah. Would you all like to share anything? Mark?
You know, it took me years to be able to pronounce amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, and then even more years to get diagnosed. I'm like the Energizer Bunny, and I thought this was going to be a TED Talk. But anyhow, I'm like the Energizer Bunny, and I've been so blessed to have landed in this town about 45 years ago, and to be involved in things that make a difference on the Neighborhood Advocates Board. And you know, people ask me often, they say, well, how do you do this, or how do you do that? And I just look at them and I go, with the hands of others. So when I need to go to my board meeting, the amazing Molly Hunter makes sure that somebody picks me up. They have my papers all laid out on the table, and all I have to do is go and enjoy a really great group of volunteers. I'm so lucky to live here. It's been 87 years since Lou Gehrig made his amazing speech, being the luckiest man in America. Well, if that's so, I'm the luckiest guy in Roanoke. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mark. You want us to hold our Hands up. You can do that.
Good. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Thank you all. Next, I'm going to invite Council Member Fajon Nash to head to the podium. I'm going to invite Ms. Sarah Kate Brownmiller, Prevention and Wellness Specialist with Blue Ridge Behavioral Health, to join Councilman Nash and anyone else who's here to celebrate Resiliency Week.
Y'all ready? All right. Resiliency Week. Whereas the Roanoke Prevention Alliance, RPA, is a nonprofit organization dedicated to preventing youth substance use and promoting the overall health and well-being of young people in the Roanoke City community. Whereas RPA utilizes an upstream prevention approach by addressing the root causes of substance use through strengthening of protective factors and the reduction of risk factors among youth. Whereas the promotion of protective factors, conditions, and supports that help young people thrive and make healthy choices, particularly following trauma, is central to RPA's mission. Whereas resiliency is a key protective factor, and RPA works to help young people develop the ability to overcome challenges, adapt to adversity, and grow from their experiences, thereby reducing the likelihood of engaging in risky behaviors such as substance use. Whereas RPA empowers youth by amplifying their voices, fostering leadership opportunities, and creating inclusive spaces where they feel connected, valued, and heard. Whereas RPA prioritizes community education, awareness by providing resources, trainings, and outreach to parents, caregivers, educators, and community members. Whereas collaboration is fundamental to RPA's work, and through partnership with local schools, organizations, and community stakeholders, RPA builds a strong network of support that strengthens positive youth development. Whereas through evidence-based programming and strategic initiatives, RPA remains committed to creating a healthier and more connected and more resilient Roanoke community. And now, therefore, I, Councilmember Fajon Nash, on behalf of Joseph L. Cobb, Mayor of the City of Roanoke, Virginia, do hereby proclaim the week of May 3rd through 9th, 2026, throughout this great 8-time All-American city as Resiliency Week.
Thank you. I wanted to just say really quick that the work of prevention cannot be done without buy-in from the community. I have two of my really awesome board members here, Emma and Jeffrey, which are just the prime example that we all have to work together in order to have healthy families and healthy youth. One of the main things that we try to do is build resilience in everybody in the city of Roanoke. And so if you would like to hear more stories of resilience, we are hosting a storytelling event on this Thursday, May 7th at the Grandin Theater in partnership with Hoot and Holler. And so if you'd like to hear how Roanoke City community members have been resilient growing up in the city of Roanoke, we invite you to attend. So thank you, guys.
Looks good. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Next, I'm going to invite Councilmember Hagan to head to the podium and ask Heather Fay, our Director and Executive Regional Administrator for the Greater Roanoke and NRV Small Business Development Center, to meet you at the podium.
Wow. All right. So this is a proclamation from the City of Roanoke for National Small Business Week. Whereas America's progress has been driven by pioneers who think big, take risks, and work hard, whereas small businesses are the economic powerhouse and the heart and soul of our communities, and keep America on the cutting edge, as small businesses are the backbone of our economy and the cornerstone of our nation's promise. Whereas the City of Roanoke, Virginia, and the Roanoke City Council celebrate our local small businesses and the contributions they make to our local economy and community. Whereas according to the U.S. Small Business Administration, there are 33.2 million small businesses in the United States, which employ 61.7 million Americans. Whereas when we support small businesses, jobs are created and local communities preserve their unique culture. Whereas from the storefront shops that anchor our Roanoke downtown business community, to the trendy coffee shops and innovative restaurants, to the unique boutiques and industrial technology solutions in our business community, to the manufacturing firms and retail store establishments, and to the many varied small business types. Whereas the President of the United States has proclaimed National Small Business Week every year since 1963 to highlight the programs and services available to the entrepreneurs throughout the U.S. Small Business Administration and other government agencies. And whereas in 2026, the United States will commemorate the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence, marking a historic opportunity to reflect on our nation's founding principle of free enterprise. Whereas the City of Roanoke acknowledges, recognizes, and supports small businesses and entrepreneurs, and joins in this national effort to help America's small businesses do what they do best, generate jobs, and ensure that our communities remain as vibrant tomorrow as they are today. Now, therefore, I, Council Member Nicholas Hagan, on behalf of Joseph L. Cobb, Mayor of the City of Roanoke, Virginia, do hereby proclaim the week of May 4th through the 10th, 2026, throughout this great 8-time All-America city as National Small Business Week. And that's the proclamation.
Good afternoon, Mayor Cobb, Vice Mayor McGuire, Councilman Hagan, and our fellow council members and the city manager. Thank you all for this opportunity. This is probably one of my favorite weeks. It's competing with a few others, but it's such a great joy to be here today and to celebrate with my colleague Mark Nelson, Director of Economic Development, and the important work that the small businesses do in our community. So thank you for the opportunity to be here. Okay.
Vice Mayor McGuire, could you take a half step that way? Great, I can see you now. That's good. Thank you.
A couple weeks ago, I had the honor of giving a presentation at the Virginia Municipal Clerks Association Conference, which was in Blacksburg this year. And I was able to talk about strengthening the relationship between the clerk's office and your council and how the different ways we go about that. And it was so interesting. In one of the interactive things that I did, I went around and asked the clerks, you know, what's one thing you've done to strengthen your relationship with your council? And the thread that ran through most of the answers was good candy. Or mints, right? But there was so much more to it. Whereas the office of the professional municipal clerk is a time-honored and essential part of local government, including here in the city of Roanoke, where the clerk's office ensures that the work of government is conducted with accuracy, transparency, and integrity. Whereas professional municipal clerks serve as the vital link between the residents of Roanoke, the mayor and city council, and all levels of government, ensuring that public meetings, records, and legislative actions are accessible and preserved in accordance with the Virginia Freedom of Information Act. Whereas at the center of Roanoke's democratic process, the clerk's office coordinates council meetings, maintains official records, and supports the legislative work of the city with professionalism and care. Whereas through the organization of swearing-in ceremonies for incoming council members, support of transitions for outgoing members, and coordination of official recognitions, this office helps mark the moments that define public service in our community. Whereas professional municipal clerks uphold a standard of neutrality, professionalism, and impartial service to all, reinforcing the public trust and the values of fairness, transparency, and accountability that guide the City of Roanoke's governance. Whereas the City of Roanoke Clerk's Office demonstrates a remarkable ability to be flexible and responsive, often adapting in real time, and when needed, staying just a little longer to accommodate one more addition to the agenda in service to the work of the city. Whereas the dedication, precision, and quiet leadership of the City of Roanoke clerk and staff form the backbone of effective local government, and their contributions deserve recognition, appreciation, and celebration. Now, therefore, I, Joseph L. Cobb, Mayor of the City of Roanoke, do hereby proclaim the week of May 3rd through 9, 2026, throughout this great eight-time All-America city as Municipal Clerks Week. Thank you all. Would you like to introduce your team? I will. All right.
Well, let me introduce the team first. Cecilia Webb, Cece, is our Deputy City Clerk, and she's been here longer than I have probably. Okay, not at the city, but in the office. Ruth Vasete Perez, she's our Assistant Deputy City Clerk, and then there is Kelly Delaski, she's the Secretary to Mayor Cobb, and Jennifer McReynolds, she's our finance person in our office. They are a wonderful team, so I'm so happy to have them work with me and beside me. I do have something I'd like to say. Thank you, Mayor Cobb. Thank you all of council members, all the council members, thank you so much. This recognition pays tribute to one of the smallest teams in the city of Roanoke, but also one of the most essential as an official record keeper of the city of Roanoke for city business. I couldn't ask for a better group than the team standing beside me. Each of these women brings unique strengths and talents, and together we form an exceptional team. Over the past 10 years, the work has continued to evolve, and we have refined how we support the City Council and serve the greater Roanoke community. When questions arise about what happened 20 years ago, or even further, we are the ones who preserve and provide that history. From handwritten ledgers on linen paper to advanced digital systems, we are committed to ensuring that Roanoke's story, past and present, is accurately captured and accessible. It is truly an honor to serve as the city clerk and playing a role in preserving the history of the city. It is truly my honor, and I couldn't, like I said before, ask for a better team. They are my support. We are one. It's just not me as clerk, it's all of us as the clerk's office, and I'm so proud of each one of them. Thank you for the recognition.
Good. 2, 3. Gotcha. Thank you.
Sure you don't want to do this. Thank you.
Well, it's great to recognize our clerks. I also want to give a shout out to Stephanie Moon Reynolds, who served as our city clerk for many, many years. Stephanie, it's good to see you here today. Thank you. All right, our last proclamation today, I'm going to ask Councilwoman Powers, who is going to help us celebrate Public Service Recognition Week. And I'll ask our city manager, Ms. Turner, to join you at the podium.
I get the biggest one. So, City of Roanoke Proclamation, Public Service Recognition Week. Whereas to honor employees of federal, state, and local governments and members of the uniformed service who are entrusted with missions fundamental to the nation and who deliver services upon which residents depend. Whereas Public Service Recognition Week provides an opportunity to recognize and promote the important contributions of public servants and to honor individuals who serve their communities, including those serving the residents of the City of Roanoke. Whereas public employees of the City of Roanoke and across the Commonwealth take a solemn oath to support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Virginia, and to faithfully discharge the duties of their office. Whereas public servants in the City of Roanoke serve in a wide range of roles, including public safety, courts, education, infrastructure, community services, and across departments, boards, and offices that collectively support the city. Whereas they strengthen the local economy and community by maintaining infrastructure, delivering critical services, supporting residents and businesses, and fostering a safe, inclusive, and livable city. Whereas public service is a noble calling and the City of Roanoke benefits from the skill, dedication, and professionalism of its workforce. Whereas the City Council commends the dedication and service of all public servants, recognizes their essential role in the community, and encourages residents to observe this week through the programs and activities that express appreciation. Now, therefore, I, Councilmember Evelyn Powers, on behalf of Joseph L. Cobb, Mayor of the City of Roanoke, Virginia, do hereby proclaim the week of May the 3rd through the 9th, 2026, throughout this great 8-time All-American City as Public Service Recognition Week, given under our hands and the seal of Roanoke this 4th day of May in the year 2026.
Thank you, Councilwoman Powers, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and members of council. Thank you so much for this proclamation and recognizing what this week represents. Public Service Recognition Week is really about people, the individuals who show up every day to keep our city running and moving forward. It's our public works crews out early in the morning, our first responders answering calls at all hours, our administrative staff, keeping operations steady, and our directors leading complex departments with care and accountability. To our employees, your work often happens behind the scenes, but its impact is felt everywhere. In safe streets, clean water, responsive services, and community people are proud to call home. I also want to recognize our department directors and leadership team. The challenges facing local governments it's not simple. Your dedication, professionalism, and problem solving make a real difference every single day. Public service isn't always easy. It requires patience, resilience, and a genuine commitment to others. And I'm proud to work alongside a team that demonstrates those values consistently. So during this week and every week, thank you for what you do for this city and for our residents. Thank you.
we're gonna have to scoot in just a little bit more.
Oh, hold on a second.
A little more. All right, big group. Here we go.
Well, thank you all. It's special and important to recognize people that make a difference throughout our city and region, and we're grateful for all of you. We're going to move now to our hearing of citizens upon public matters, and this is a time that council sets aside as a priority for citizens to be heard. All matters will be referred to the city manager for response, recommendation, or report back to council as she may deem appropriate. Madam Clerk, do we have citizens signed up to speak today?
We have no citizens signed up to speak.
Wow. Okay, that's very unusual.
Yeah, well, I've been on council.
Then we will move on to our, now, I looks like we have some guests out here today, right? And I'm guessing these guests might be from Leadership Roanoke Valley. They might be showing up to learn how local government works. I'm totally putting you on the spot, but I'm going to have you come up. Come on up. Come on up. Anyone with LRV, come on up. Totally shaking up the agenda right now. But it's great. And I know we've got, why don't you all introduce yourselves real quickly? And let's start, though, with folks who are with LRV. Like, Tori, I know you've been through this before. I'm going to put you on the spot. You want to tell us who this group is? Are you in LRV right now, or are you an alum?
No, I'm in it right now.
Oh, you're in it right now.
Participant.
So maybe, who's in charge of this group?
That's a loaded question.
Well, if you could tell us a little bit about LRV and maybe the particular focus of this group of participants.
So my group that we're meeting on May 20th is the last group for participant day or program day. So we're with Team Tourism. And so Leadership Roanoke Valley is a group of leaders coming together, learning how to work with each other, network with each other, and learn more about the Roanoke Regional, where we live.
Thank you. And I know the cohort's usually 40, 50 people from different businesses around the region, and it's sponsored by the Regional Chamber. It's a great organization and does a lot of good work. And the whole cohort is divided up into what, 4 or 5 programs, components, and then you do the research and do a presentation, right?
Transportation, small business.
And tourism. All right. Would you all like to introduce yourselves real quickly for us?
I mean,
I totally put you on the spot, Tori.
Mayor Cobb. I'm Tori Ratliff Ives, first-year participant with Leadership Roanoke Valley. I'm an office leader at Pinnacle Financial Partners down the street here at downtown.
I'm Gary Louthan, also participant of this cohort. I'm a senior branch manager for Atlantic Union Bank off Colonial Avenue, but also ran our downtown Roanoke office.
Hi, I'm Kevin Stuckey. I work for Ritchie Bank. I'm a participant of the technology team. We had our participant-led day in February, and I work for Ritchie Bank in the headquarters on Franklin Road.
Hi, I'm Carolyn Warden. I'm a senior interior designer at SFCS. We're right down the street, architecture firm here in Roanoke for over 100 years. And I'm also part of Team Technology.
Hello, I'm Lynn Fusco. I'm membership director for the Roanoke Regional Chamber of Commerce, and I'm also part of Team Technology.
Hi, I'm Leah Chapin. I'm a regulatory analyst at Roanoke Gas Company, and I'm also part of Team Technology team.
Hi, my name is Virginia Willis. I work for the Roanoke Symphony Orchestra as the Education and Community Engagement Director, and I'm part of the tourism team for LRV.
Hi, I'm Sebastian Harlow. I am a small business owner for the Roanoke Valley Arts Collective and Art Smarts, and I am part of Team Tourism.
Hi, I am Andrea Minnick. I'm the Vice President for Virginia Varsity Storage, and I am part of Team Tourism.
Thank you all so much for spending your time with us this afternoon. We appreciate it, and for your hard work on all of this. It's good to see you all. Thank you. That's called filler when you don't have any citizens signed up to speak. Item 4 on our agenda today is the consent agenda. All matters listed under the consent agenda are considered to be routine by members of council and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of the items. However, if discussion is desired, the item may be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately. I'll ask for a motion and second on approval of the consent agenda.
Move the consent agenda.
Second.
Thank you, council members Volleson and Hagan. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Sanchez Jones. Aye. Vice Mayor McGuire.
Aye.
Mr. Nash.
Aye.
Mr. Volleson.
Aye.
Ms. Powers.
Aye.
Mr. Hagan.
Aye.
And Mayor Cobb.
Aye, and the consent agenda is adopted. Moving on to our regular agenda, we have no public hearings this afternoon, so we'll move into our petitions and communications, and I'm pleased to welcome Scott Ramsberg, Cable Access Director for Roanoke Valley Regional Cable Television, to present the proposed fiscal year 26-27 budget, and this is sponsored by the city manager.
Mayor Cobb, Vice Mayor McGuire, members of council, thank you for allowing me time to update you about Roanoke Valley Television, your civic media resource. I'd like to begin my presentation with a brief highlight reel about projects over the past year. As you can see, RVTV is focused on generating awareness about the good things happening in local government. Our mission is to make our community stronger, more engaged, and better informed, and we do this by working as an extension of your employees' communication efforts. RVTV works exclusively for our partners in the city of Roanoke, the town of Vinton, and Roanoke County, as well as your respective school systems. And our main categories of focus are public safety, recreation, education, citizen services, as well as arts and history. We work out of a 1,500 square foot studio within the Jefferson Center with a team of 5 staff members that combine over 100 years of experience. And we work side by side with your staff by request whenever the need arises for quality communications content, which can not only include video, but also drone services, graphic design, and animation. Last year, we produced 51 hours of media content, facilitated the live streaming of 84 meetings for our partners. Thank you, Lacey, in the back, for helping with this one today. And we provided overall service value estimated at approximately $2.5 million, which is 4.4 times our operating cost. A few more notable numbers for you to look at. Over the past year, our team has carried out 565 individual projects while significantly increasing reach online. RVTV continues to be recognized regionally for excellence in production. As you see here, in February, we took home 5 awards from the Public Relations Society of America's Blue Ridge chapter, including a Creativity Award. And just this week, a collaboration involving RVTV won a State Public Relations Award. RVTV is not a static organization. We are continually working with our partners to meet their changing communication needs. A few examples in the past year are emphasis on duplicate horizontal and vertical social media content, focus on regional economic development projects, and most exciting to me, an upgrade in our playback system to include streaming apps on Roku, Apple TV, and Fire Stick, in addition to our 24/7 cable casts on Cox, Comcast, and Shentel Glow Fiber. These new apps supplement our online content distribution and allow easier access for long-form content, additional live streaming capabilities for events, and more user-friendly platforms while watching public meetings on smart televisions. RVTV is overseen by the Regional Cable Television Committee, which consists of an elected representative. Thank you, Ms. Powers, for serving on that committee, a citizen representative, and a communication staff member from each partner agency. We meet every other month to guide operations. Roanoke County is our fiscal agent, which handles our human resources as well as IT needs. I develop the budgets annually, which consist of 85% staffing costs. The majority of equipment and all capital expenses are currently funded through cable franchise grants. Our operating budget is split between the three partner agencies by percentage of population. Note that cable fees don't directly offset operating costs, but each locality receives from the state its share of a 5% sales and use tax, which includes various communications taxes like cell phones and cable. Cable subscribers also have a 20-cent EG fee wrapped up into their taxes to support PEG programming, such as what RVTV provides. Originally chartered as a government and educational access station, the educational component of our mission is still a large part of what we do, providing communications to support the region's two largest public school systems. And as an item of note, I'd like the council to be aware that the city and county attorney's offices have initiated the negotiation process for the Cox Cable's franchise renewal, which occurs every 10 years. We're pushing for improvements in RVTV signal quality, which is currently being downsampled on their end. Simultaneously, the RVTV committee and the legal team are working on updates to the regional agreement, which was established in 1992 and last amended in 2012. Updates will reflect our current operating strategy as well as a service department, as well as codify some more recent operational policies. I hope to have an amended and restated agreement for you later this year. And finally, your council packet is a full line item summary of RVTV's operating requests for fiscal year 2027. These increases are at 3.4% over last FY, coming from the combination of cost of living adjustments for staff, which are adopted by our fiscal agent, as well as increases in health insurance costs and IT costs. As you can see here, the city's portion of total operating costs, which represent 50.04% of our budget. It's the recommendation of the Cable Television Committee to approve the operating budget. In closing, just an abbreviated list up here of some of the projects we've been involved with over the past years, including business features, public works, demonstrations, lots of event promotions and coverage, plus drone and graphic design work. In summary, it's truly been a pleasure to work with Roanoke's communications team on a daily basis. I can't name everybody that we work with. We work with so many staff members of yours, but I would like to personally thank Carol Corbin this year for her service as the liaison to our Regional Cable Television Committee. Over the past 5 years, she has helped bring communications to a new level while leading through kindness and positive attitude, and her efforts have made a huge impact on telling positive stories about the city. We look forward to some great things in the year to come through this regional partnership. At this time, I would entertain any questions or comments you might have.
Thank you, Mr. Ramsberg. Council members, Ms. Powers.
So I don't have a question, but I do have to let everybody know this. You know, I got the opportunity to see your budget when we had our board meeting, and I have to say what a pleasure it was to read such a great budget and to commend you and your staff on a great job. Your expenses didn't increase that much, and it was just great to see a balanced budget right off the bat. So thank you so much to you and your team.
Thank you, Ms. Powers.
Allison.
I would also like to echo Ms. Powers in that it was great to read through the budget and see that there was not a huge increase. It was 3.4, I think you said, which means that you're doing a great job of keeping operating costs stable, and we really appreciate that when it comes to tight budgets like we have this year. So thank you.
Others?
Thanks,
Vice
Scott,
Mayor.
for all the work you do. I really appreciate RVTV and how you help get out important information, tell the story of what's up and what's going on around town. So really appreciate it. Thank you.
Much. I really have enjoyed the drone work, seeing all the the events in the Wasina Bridge, as well as when we had the progress on 460, and so thank you.
Thanks
I
to
really
Trevor
like it.
Fair, our FAA certified drone pilot, for that.
Yeah, just to reiterate, thank you for all the work you do. Absolutely love seeing you all at all the events and ribbon cuttings that, I've been a part of. So thank you.
Sir.
You all really do help tell our story and in such powerful ways. And the thing that impresses me is that I'll see you out at an event and like later that day, maybe an hour later, the story is up. I don't know how you do that, but kudos. And thank you for just your collaborative spirit. And it's just it's not only our story, it's the story of people in this region and local governments and how we work together. And you convey that really in a powerful way. So thank you. So we have a resolution, and I need a motion and second on the resolution.
Move the second.
Okay, thank you, Council Members Powers and Sanchez-Jones. Madam Clerk, will you please read the title paragraph?
A resolution approving the recommendation of the Roanoke Valley Regional Cable Television Committee to approve the annual operating budget for fiscal year 2026 through 2027 for the operation of the Regional Government and Educational Access Station, Roanoke Valley Television, RVTV, Channel 3, and for the city to provide partial funding.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion of the resolution? All right, Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Ms. Sanchez-Jones? Vice Mayor McGuire?
Aye.
Mr. Nash? Mr. Volleson?
Aye.
Ms. Powers? Mr. Hagan?
Aye.
Mayor Cobb?
Aye, and the resolution is adopted. Thank you, Scott. And you alluded to the wizards behind the wall here. You want to give them a shout out?
Yeah, well, thanks once again. Lacey is in charge of most of our meeting operations, both at the city and the county, and he is there almost every meeting, making this happen behind the scenes. So special thanks to him and all of our team that do a fantastic job day to day.
Yes, and we also have Tom back there. So Tom usually sits over here, and Lacey's there, and I'm sure they're waving right now. But they're making sure that all of this operates smoothly, from the sound system to the TV. So thank you all very much.
Appreciate it very much.
Our next presentation, I'm pleased to welcome representatives from the Salvation Army celebrating 140 years in the city of Roanoke. And I'm going to, Jay is the development director, but I know we have the captains here too. And I know Stephanie, Ms. Moon Reynolds, you're a board member, correct? Do we have other board members here today too? Well, we're glad you're here. Come on up. We look forward to hearing your presentation today.
Thank you. Since 1886, the Salvation Army has been meeting the needs, serving families, and walking alongside the city every season. And since that time, our mission has never changed: to meet human needs in His name without discrimination. When you look back at the history, you don't just see buildings and programs. You see a movement, and throughout the years, we've been feeding families in crisis, supporting veterans, returning home, and standing in the gap when others couldn't. For 140 years, one thing has remained true: we have always partnered with the city to meet human needs.
And fast forward to today, the mission continues, and the need is still real. Right here in Roanoke this past year, as you can see the numbers, these aren't just numbers. These are families staying in their homes. These are children who didn't go without, and the lives that didn't fall through the cracks. And if I can make this personal for a moment, my name is Lieutenant Antonio Hodges, and alongside my wife, Lieutenant Shante Hodges, our family were appointed here last June, and we're so grateful to serve here in Roanoke. But the reason this mission means so much to me is that we're both products of what the Salvation Army provides. We've seen firsthand what it means when someone shows up in a time of need, when our program steps in, and when hope feels out of reach. We were products of this kind of product and impact, and and we stand here today not just as recipients, but as leaders serving this very community. It's more than a role, it is a calling, and that's why this work matters so much to me. Here's what we do. Our work today meets people at every point of need, from food assistance, domestic violence, youth programs, and mentorships, disaster relief, and an emergency response. And we also have seniors and veteran service, community center, and spiritual care. We don't just respond to need, we walk through people. We walk through it with our people. And today we're stepping in a new season of intentionality, growth, and collaborations. As we embark 140 years, we expand on community partnerships, strengthen mobile feeding and our outreach, and we are diving deep with our youth and family services, advocating for our community center and a connection for prevention. The best way we can serve this city is to serve alongside this city. So as we celebrate 140 years, we're also looking ahead. Here's how we can continue to work together. We want to utilize our space as a shared resource for the community, and we want to collaborate more for the homelessness, youth, and crisis and their efforts. We want to align with the city initiatives to ensure that no one is overlooked. And we want to partner on events, outreach, and a long-term solution. Because when we align, we don't just serve people, we strengthen the entire community. So for 140 years, the Salvation Army has stood in the gap for Roanoke. Yesterday we were there, today we are here, and tomorrow we are ready. But we know this chapter will be written together. Through partnerships, through collaborations, through a shared commitment to this city we all love. And thank you for allowing us to take time to not only share, but to hear us. And we want to extend a special thank you to the mayor for our ribbon ceremony, for opening up our doors next Thursday for our 140th event to give our building back to the community. And we're looking forward to ways that we can collaborate more to do things together with the city. Thank you.
Lieutenant, it's a pleasure to welcome you and your wife. Glad you all are here. Mr. Whitmore, thank you. Questions or comments from council?
I'd just like to say thank you for this information. It was a lot of good information, some things I didn't know. I didn't know that you were 140 years, so I appreciate all the work that you do here in Roanoke.
Mr. Bollison.
I just wanted to also say thank you for your love of diversity and making sure not to discriminate. I think that there are a lot of organizations that do, and we are very much grateful for what you guys do. I remember as a member of the Roanoke Diversity Center, you guys, I believe, opened up a day shelter that allowed for non-binary folks and those that have other gender markers. And so it was great to see that here in the city. It means that you're also representing our values as a city.
Others?
I would just like to say, thank you all for everything you do. And I think that, the city of Roanoke, we cannot do it. We talk about collaboration. We cannot do it by ourselves. And we have so many citizens, not just within the city, but in the region, in the Roanoke Valley, that especially during times like we have currently, with the economy being how it is, with the job market being how it is, inflation being how it is, there are a lot of people who are struggling. And I always say that the thinner a dollar stretches, the heavier hope feels. And so organizations that are ran by people like yourselves have a very important role in making sure that people are not left behind and that families do not get abandoned during times like this, and that they can do something as simple as have a meal to eat. So thank you so much for what you do.
Thank you.
I'll just say I really appreciate your work, and thank you for the presentation, and definitely hear you. We will try to think of even more ways that we can collaborate together.
Thank you very much. And I liked the presentation. I learned a lot. So thank you for your work.
Thank you, again, to reiterate everything that's been said.
So it's 140 years. You look good for 140. I mean, that's a really long time. And, It shows how resilient you all are, but how special the Salvation Army is. From the bell ringers that we see all over the place to the programs that you create, and this exciting new chapter of really engaging even more deeply in the life of the community is very exciting. And I look forward to being with you all next week to celebrate that. So thank you all so much for being here today. Item 7 on our agenda is reports of city officers and the city manager, and we have a briefing today, our monthly budget report. So I'll turn to our city manager to set that up for us.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would like to introduce our interim finance director, Aquanetta Harris.
Welcome, Ms. Harris. It's good to see you.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Mayor Cobb, Vice Mayor, members of council, city manager. This report presents the monthly financial results for the month ending March 2026. Beginning with our revenues, starting with our local taxes, we continue to see the following revenue sources meeting and/or exceeding the budget. Real estate at 79%, penalties and interest at 96%, business license at 101%, consumer utility tax at 71%, and public service tax at 95%. This is due to delinquent collections. Several revenue sources are currently lagging compared to prior year. Emissions revenue is down approximately $27,000, and cigarette tax revenue is lower by about $156,000. Sales tax remained relatively flat year over year, with a modest increase at $94,000. Continuing with revenue, in our non-local taxes, there are a few timing differences in receipts of funding in some categories. However, overall, non-local taxes are tracking as expected compared to prior year's actuals and budget. The first 5 months of the fiscal year showed continued growth in prepared food and beverage base sales. In December, there was a slight decline in base sales compared to prior year. In January, reflected growth in base sales. However, for the month of February, there was a 1.4% decrease in base sales compared to prior year. It is important to note that base sales are typically influenced by weather conditions, economic factors, and consumer spending. Moving to our prepared food and beverage timeliness discounts, restaurants continue to submit on time in order to retain a small percentage of tax collected. This slide continues to highlight the total discount by month. Deferred capital maintenance projects slide continues to reflect the city's current obligation and expenditures. The city is making steady progress in addressing deferred capital maintenance needs. Finance will continue to provide a detailed financial tracking of deferred capital maintenance projects. Nine months into the fiscal year, expenditures show approximately at 75% of the annual budget. Currently, total expenditures is tracking at 68% of the annual budget, which is below the expected pace. While several expenditure categories are slightly under the 75% benchmark, spending is anticipated to align within the current budgeted amounts. Judicial administration is slightly above the target, primarily due to timing differences in invoice receipts compared to prior year. The next two slides represents the city's overtime and temp wages expenditures. Overtime costs have exceeded the annual budget, largely driven by increased labor demands related to snow removal activities. Additionally, staffing limitations in certain departments require overtime to maintain several levels to meet operational needs. Temporary wages expenditures are currently on track to meet the annual budget. If monthly spending remains or at below $250,000, the city is projected to stay within the approved overall temporary wage budget for fiscal year. While some departments may exceed their individual temporary wage allocations, these overages may be offset by personnel savings resulting from vacant positions within those departments. Thank you. This concludes the March report. Are there any questions?
Mr. Volleson?
Just a comment. I think I've said this before, and I will say it again. I'm very excited to see that we are on track with expenditures. I know that that has been a challenge in the past, and I just want to commend Ms. Turner and your team for being able to keep that budget discipline up as much as you can, so I appreciate that.
Thoughts, questions? I just, you were talking about sales tax coming in slower, and that's certainly something we're tracking, and even in our budget conversations this morning, we acknowledge that we anticipate a decrease in that and have made the budget adjustment for the proposed budget.
That's correct.
Okay. Do we have any updates on, I know last month we were sorting out moving ahead with the elevator replacements. Do we have any additional updates on that at this time?
So because of the age of the elevators, they've had to kind of be ordered and special made. And so the last update from Mr. Campbell was that we hope to have them in possibly in July or August.
Okay. I'll make a note to check back then. I know sometimes there are delays in getting the parts here. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Harris. And I'll turn to our city manager now for comments.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Roanoke Magazine has announced its official Best of Awards, and the city actually has 13. Yeah, 13. Platinum for Best Family-Friendly Event or Festival, Roanoke Go Outside Festival. Platinum for Best Outdoor Recreation Event Festival, Roanoke Go Outside Festival. Platinum for Favorite Local Festival Event or Live Show, Roanoke Go Outside Festival. Platinum for Best Entertainment Arena, Elmwood Park. Silver for Best Entertainment Arena, Berglund Center. Gold for Best Live Music Venue, Elmwood Park. Bronze for Best Live Music Venue, Berglund Center. Bronze for Best Library Branch, Raleigh Court Branch. Silver for Best Local Podcast, Tie, which is Roanoke Live with Rob and Tiff. Bronze for Best Place to Find Your Next Pet, Regional Center for Animal Care and Protection. Platinum for Favorite Local Attraction, Mill Mountain Star. Platinum for Favorite Spot of the Day Date, for a day date, is the Roanoke Greenway. And gold for You're Not a Real Roanoker Unless You Have Visited, Mill Mountain Star.
Thank you.
Those conclude my comments.
All right. Thank you so much. We'll move now to our reports of committees, and we have a report of the Roanoke City School Board requesting appropriation of funds for various educational programs, and a report of the city manager recommending that city council concur in the request. Before we move into this budget ordinance, I'll ask Vice Mayor McGuire and Councilwoman Sanchez-Jones to share their statements of conflict of interest for the record.
No, I'm not. I, Stephen Terry McGuire, state that I have a personal interest in Agenda Item 8, Section 8.1, Reports of Committees Number 1, relating to the appropriation of funding for various educational programs of Roanoke City Public Schools. Because I am an employee of Roanoke City Public Schools, and as an employee, I have a personal interest in this transaction. Therefore, in accordance with Virginia Code Section 2.2-3112, I will refrain from participation in this matter. I ask that the clerk accept this statement and ask that it be made a part of the minutes of this meeting.
I, Vivian Sanchez Jones, state that I have a personal interest in Agenda Item 8, Section 8.1, Reports of Committee Number 1 relating to the appropriation of funding for various educational programs of Roanoke City Public Schools. Because I am an employee of Roanoke City Public Schools, and as an employee, I have personal interest in this transaction. Therefore, in accordance with Virginia Code Section 2.2-3112, I will refrain from participating in this matter. I ask that the clerk accept this statement and ask that it be made part of the minutes of this meeting.
Thank you both. All right, we have one measure, a budget ordinance, and I need a motion and second, please.
Move the ordinance. Second.
Thank you, Councilmembers Hagan and Volleson. Madam Clerk, will you please read the title paragraph?
An ordinance to appropriate funding from the Commonwealth, federal, and private grant for various educational programs, amending and reordaining certain sections of the 2025-2026 school grant fund appropriations for fiscal year 2026, and dispensing with the second reading by title of this ordinance.
All right, thank you, Madam Clerk. Any discussion? All right, we are ready to call the roll.
Mr. Nash?
Aye.
Mr. Volleson?
Aye.
Ms. Powers? Mr. Hagan?
Aye.
Mayor Cobb?
Aye, and the budget ordinance is adopted. Thank you all. That was short. Come on up. We will move now into our comments on certain authorities, boards, committees, and commissions in which city council serve as liaison or appointees. Do we have any liaison reports today?
Brief update, Mayor.
Yes.
This is not directly or through the Roanoke Valley Allegheny Regional Commission, which I'm honored to sit on. I recently had a meeting with the chair of the Franklin County Board of Supervisors, Lori Smith. We had a really great meeting, and we are going to try to figure out a way to resuscitate some kind of interjurisdictional focus group on water quality health as it relates to drinking water needs, recreation, economic development. And we are starting the conversation, and we're hoping to pull in some other localities upstream. We have the downstream Franklin County folks, but I just wanted to mention it because I think it presents a really interesting, great opportunity for us to deepen some of those regional relationships, and it's something that naturally just impacts all of us. So just wanted to share that update, and I appreciate Chair Smith making the time to meet with me.
Great, thank you. Others?
Does the Roanoke River flow to the... Yeah, they get all the stuff that in the river.
Blackwater and Roanoke River.
Yeah. Yeah, so I will just report briefly, the SEDS Committee, which is the Comprehensive Economic Development Strategies Committee, which I chair, we had a subcommittee meeting to designate priorities for the region. We serve about 7 localities, and so it was a challenging process because there are so many priorities, but we had a really good process, and those recommendations will be shared with the General SEDS Committee, not this week, but the next week, and then they'll go before the Regional Commission for approval. So just wanted to update on that. All right, we're going to move now to motions and miscellaneous business. Any inquiries or comments by members of council? Ms. Powers.
So I know we just did the proclamation on the Public Service Week, but I just want to say thank you to all of our city employees, every one of you, how much I do appreciate what you do, and just the behind the scenes that each of you do, and I think so many of us take for granted, the great services that we do have here in the city of Roanoke. But I just want to say thank you very much.
And I thank you, Ms. Powers. I know there will be a number of activities this week recognizing different departments throughout Public Service Week. So we're excited about that, and again, want to thank everybody. Other items, Mr. McGuire.
Yeah, I just had one. Thank you, Mayor. I wanted to just mention, at our last meeting, I raised that I had intended to submit at this meeting a council member initiative on solarization. And I'm just wanted to report back to you all and Mayor that I'm not going to move forward with that at this time. I did want to include in the notes the draft of that CMI, just so that some of our residents and constituents who I hear from a lot on this just have a sense of some of the thinking that I and others put into this. And I just wanted to offer up that I didn't want this to be something that was contentious. I think that we have a really great opportunity to go to advance more renewable energy in our city. And the way I look at that is it's not really just about, hugging trees or saving the polar bears, but I'm really concerned about the long-term energy costs that we could be saving, reliability for continuity of essential services, workforce development, enhanced resilience in our critical government facilities. And I guess what I just wanted to put out there is I would love to help however I can with the city manager's office or council. But it does seem to me right now that we don't have support for moving forward with this, and that's okay. I respect that. But what I wanted to point out to our residents is that the reason I'm so frustrated about this is that we are going to lose out if we do not take advantage of the solar investment tax credit that we have known for some time now it has been wiped out because of President Trump's big, beautiful bill. And we had an opportunity to save millions, if not tens of millions, of free money, free federal dollars that were being given out via the Inflation Reduction Act. What I'm concerned about is that I don't see where we took advantage of much of that at all. And that is, I think, a missed opportunity that I hope that we can, as a team and an organization, kind of collectively put our heads together to figure out what are the things that we can be doing to implement the policies that we already have on the books, such as the Climate Action Plan, which is embedded in the comprehensive plan, to advance these directives that City Council has said they care about that are going to save us money, make us healthier, and create good local jobs. And so I'm not going to ask that we move forward with this because I don't want to, I would like for it to be something that a majority could easily get behind and that we don't have to kind of go back and forth on. And that's okay that we're not there right now, but I just want the residents to know I hear you. I am concerned that we have not made nearly any progress on advancing renewable energy deployment in this city, and I really hope that it's something we can work on soon. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Vice Mayor. I want to commend you for bringing this to our attention, and I know in the past couple weeks there's been a lot of robust conversation. I know that our city staff has been working on this for some time, weighing the cost benefits of not only taking advantage of these credits, but also any upfront costs that we might ascertain or need to take on, which of course then becomes a budgeting matter with CIP. So I just, again, appreciate the initiative and the leadership and wanted to commend everybody who's been a part of working on this. And I appreciate you saying that, I think all of us agree with the importance of this and want to have a plan to put it into action. And I also sense your disappointment in not being able to take more full advantage of these tax credits. But keeping this in front of us and as a strategic priority, which it is in the council's strategic priorities, as part of the whole work on climate resiliency is important. Mr. Volleson.
I would like to address the solarization of the city that you've talked about, Vice Mayor. I think everybody on this dais believes that we should be doing solarization on buildings. I think that it's very important, though, that when we do these things, that we do them in the most open and transparent manner that we can. And I think that's where opposition has come from, is that it has not been an open and transparent operation at this point. So I think everybody up here really wants to make sure that we're reducing carbon, we're saving money, and we're having long-term sustainability on these things, but we do need to make sure it's done in a fair and transparent way.
Other comments from council? All right, thank you. We're going to move now to our vacancies on certain authorities, boards, commissions, and committees. This is a process we go through on the first Monday of every month. I will reiterate here that if citizens have an interest in serving on any authorities, boards, commissions, or committees, you can fill out an online application if you go to City Council's page and check on the council-appointed bodies. There is an application form there. You can submit, I don't know, Madam Clerk, is it up to 3 committees you can submit interest in?
Yes.
Okay. Which gives us a range of areas of service that you'd like to engage in. It's a fairly simple application process, but I will also share this. The more information you can put in the application about your skill set, your background, your experience, particularly related to boards or commissions you're interested in serving on, that helps us know how best to place you when we're considering vacancies. So as we go into these today, you're going to hear kind of an interesting spectrum of authorities and boards and commissions that we actually appoint people to. So keep that in mind as you hear these. And I'm going to ask the Vice Mayor to read these appointments and reappointments. And then at the conclusion of this, when we vote, if council members would say all nominees, if you support all nominees. Thank you, Vice Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor. To the Blue Ridge Behavioral Health Care Board of Directors, council is appointing Danielle Johnson. To the Court Community Corrections Program Regional Community Criminal Justice Board, council is reappointing Judge Geddes, who will need a residency waiver. To the Mill Mountain Advisory Board, council is reappointing Jeff Todd. Also reappointing to the Mill Mountain Advisory Board, Sarah Carpenter. To the Personnel and Employment Practices Commission, council is appointing Trinity Kasecki, who will need a residency waiver. To the Roanoke Public Library Board, council is reappointing Casey Amon. Also to that board, Library Board, reappointing Jesse Kaufman. To the Visit Virginia's Blue Ridge Board of Directors, council is reappointing Dr. John Clements. And to the Western Virginia's Regional Industrial Facility Authority, council is appointing Boram Johnson.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Sanchez Jones. Vice Mayor McGuire.
Oh, wait a minute. All nominees.
All nominees, that's right. Vice Mayor McGuire.
All nominees.
Mr. Nash.
All nominees.
Mr. Volleson.
All nominees?
Ms. Powers.
All nominees.
Mr. Hagan.
All nominees.
And Mayor Cobb.
All nominees. Thank you, and thanks to everyone who serves on any of our authorities, boards, commissions, or committees. We appreciate it. So we are going into recess, and we will reconvene next Monday, May 11th, here at 2:00 p.m. in the council chamber for the adoption of the City of Roanoke recommended fiscal year 26-27 budget and any other measures deemed appropriate that day. Thank you all for coming today.